Hello there and welcome to this Saturday's final edition of YES101's Visual Radio. I'm Theruni Karnaratna. First on to this evening's top stories.
News First headline.
Making headlines in local news, Ranil Wickremesinghe vows to revive UNP and the economy. Sajid Premadasa vows to defeat rice mill mafia and support farmers with loan waivers and modernisation. NPP environmental policy unveiled. Bar Council demands resignation of BASL president. In international news, Chinese Coast Guard says Philippine ship rammed Chinese vessel in South China Sea. And in sports, Ancelotti relaxed about Mbappe's slow start at Real Madrid. On to those stories in detail now. Independent presidential candidate Ranil Wickremesinghe invited all members of the United National Party to join him. Another phase of the series of Puluang, Sri Lanka public rallies held in support of independent presidential candidate Ranil Wickremesinghe took place in the Bandaravilla town today. Independent presidential candidate Ranil Wickremesinghe addressed supporters by announcing a new initiative to convert line rooms into villages, providing land to estate residents. He also highlighted the recent salary increases and emphasized the need to ensure stability. Wickremesinghe referenced party leaders Jayawardena and President Premadasa, stating his commitment to reviving the United National Party and the economy, aiming for economic growth within 2 years, similar to Jayawardena's approach. Wickremesinghe urged genuine UNP members to support him, distinguishing his vision from that of Sajid Premadasa and asserting his dedication to the party's tradition and success. Presidential candidate of the Samagi Janabalavege Sajid Premadasa has pledged to do everything possible to support the farming community under his administration. He emphasized that farmers are not a burden but an asset to the Samagi Janabalavege. A rally of the presidential candidate of the Samagi Janabalavege, Sajid Premadasa, was held in Madhavachia. The rally saw the attendance of parliamentarians of the SJB and affiliated factions. SJB presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa criticized the disparity between the low prices farmers receive for their samba, nadu, kirisamba and kaklu rice and the higher prices consumers pay for it. He went on to accuse the rice mill industry of exploiting farmers and pledged to dismantle the rice mill mafia on the 21st of September. Premadasa promised to address farmers' issues by waiving their cultivation loans and providing permanent solutions to their challenges. He questioned why the current administration could forgive loans for wealthy individuals and not for hard-working farmers. The SJB presidential candidate vowed to modernize agriculture with online services and develop the country into an export-driven economy, creating a fair market for farmers' produce. Meanwhile, the environmental policy of the National People's Power was unveiled in Colombo under the auspices of presidential candidate Anurakumara Dissanayake. A large number of field experts, including environmentalists, joined this event. Addressing the gathering, NPP presidential candidate Anurakumara Dissanayake pledged to lead efforts in protecting ecosystems and addressing environmental challenges. He criticized the current state of water resources in Anuradhapura, highlighting issues such as drying tanks and rising diseases. Dissanayake emphasized the need to restore the tank cascade system in Madhavachia and implement scientific methods for an elephant fence. He also proposed reopening the Elephant Pass or Alimankada to support wildlife, focusing on immediate solutions rather than building new tanks. Presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Namal Rajapaksa said that he will introduce a tax policy that will be affordable for local businesses while safeguarding them. A public rally organised in support of Namal Rajapaksa was held in Homagama this morning. SLPP presidential candidate Namal Rajapaksa denounced the threats and insults faced by party supporters in certain villages. He suggested that these actions might be attempts to weaken the support for the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Now, despite these challenges, Rajapaksa claimed that he is confident that patriotic citizens will secure a victory for the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna on the 21st of September. On to more local news now. The Bar Council today unanimously called upon President's Counsel Kaushalya Navaratne to resign from the office of BASL President. President's counsel Kausalya Navaratne was directed by the Bar Council not to exercise the power and functions of the President of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka. President's counsel Anura Maddagoda was elected Deputy President to succeed Nalinda Indathissa, who resigned from that office. A special committee appointed by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka has delivered a critical report on the dealings between the BASL and the Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA. The investigation has concluded that BASL President's counsel Kausalya Navaratne failed to maintain the transparency expected of him, ultimately breaching the trust of the organization that he leads. The report reveals that President's counsel Navaratne was primarily responsible for handling the contractual arrangements and the selection of resource persons and researchers. This process, according to the committee, was marked by a lack of transparency. President's counsel Navaratne managed nearly all aspects of the contract, and the procedures he followed did not meet the standards of openness expected in such significant dealings. The investigation noted that the President's counsel's position as BASL President came with a responsibility to ensure transparency, particularly given the substantial financial implications of the JICA contract. The report criticizes President's counsel Navaratne for failing to ensure that these processes were conducted in an open and accountable manner. The BASL Executive Committee is expected to meet soon to deliberate on the implications of the report and decide on the appropriate steps to address the issues highlighted. Up next is international news.
International news.
The Philippines and China exchanged accusations of intentionally ramming Coast Guard vessels in disputed waters of the South China Sea on Saturday, the latest in an escalating series of clashes in the vital waterway. The collision near the Sabina Shoal was their fifth maritime confrontation in a month in a long-standing rivalry. Now, Beijing claims most of the entire South China Sea, including parts claimed by the Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, Taiwan and Vietnam. Portions of the waterway, where $3 trillion worth of trade passes annually, are believed to be rich in oil and natural gas deposits as well as fish stocks. Let's now take a look at your sports news.
Sports news.
Real Madrid manager Carlos Ancelotti said on Saturday he is happy with how new signing Kylian Mbappe is settling into life with the Spanish soccer giants, and he has no concerns about his team's slow start to the La Liga season. France captain Mbappe, who joined Real Madrid from Paris Saint-Germain in June, scored a 2-0 win over Europa League champions Atalanta in the UEFA Super Cup final 3 weeks ago, but has yet to find the net in 3 La Liga games. Playing in the centre-forward spot as left-winger Vinicius Junior's partner, Mbappe has missed several chances and struggled to link up with his new teammates in disappointing draws at Mallorca and Las Palmas, and in a dour home win against Real Valladolid. And that brings to a close this edition of YES101's Visual Radio. For details of all these stories and much more, simply visit our website www.Newsfirst.lk or follow us on our social media platforms. As always, thank you very much for watching. Take care. Good night.